looking at this event, it's not really a time to blame politicians. Rosie O'Donnell has taken a different view. This is her message.
And you know, when the president guts all of the early warning systems and the weathering forecast abilities of the government, these are the results that we're going to start to see on a daily basis, because he's put this country in so much danger by his horrible, horrible decisions and this ridiculously immoral bill that he just signed into law. As Republicans cheered, people will die as a result, and they've started already. Shame on him. Shame on every GOP sycophant who's listening and following the disastrous decisions of this mentally incapacitated POTUS.
Alex, what do you make of Rosie O'Donnell?
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous to try to blame this on Donald Trump. I mean, if people want to say because there was budget cuts to the National Weather Service, that's just incorrect. That's fake news. I mean, they did have warnings about the weather, but in 90 minutes, it was a surge that they'd never seen. This camp had been there for, I believe, over 100 years, and nothing like this had ever happened. So it was just I don't know how to describe it other than the perfect storm that, no politician could have stopped. I mean, for her to blame the death of, I think it's over 80 people and 27 children at this camp on Donald Trump, just shows you that Rosie O'Donnell's a sick person, and she doesn't really care about those kids. She's just using it as some sort of political tool to make her message against Donald Trump stronger. And it's sad that those kids have to be used like that by Rosie O'Donnell, who is just a disgusting person, in my opinion.
Alex, the mainstream media is also blaming Donald Trump and climate change. Here is CNN's coverage of the disaster.
How much do you think the changing climate is part of what we are seeing go on here? Not just what we're seeing in the pictures that we're showing on the screen, but even the flood that you talked about in San Antonio in June.
No, I think climate change is obviously a part of it. These floods are happening more often in more parts of the country and really all over the world. And so we have to face that reality and be better prepared for it and combat it.
It seems the problem might have been the lack of a flood warning system. The Weather Service has clarified that it had extra staff on duty during the storm, and Homeland Security has had to call out the media for lying. It posted, the mainstream media is deliberately lying about the events leading up to the catastrophic flooding in Texas. The National Weather Service executed timely, precise forecasting and warnings despite unprecedented rainfall overwhelming the region. Alex, are you surprised to see the mainstream media going straight to blaming Donald Trump and, of course, climate change for this?
Well, I'm not surprised whatsoever. And, it's obvious that humans have an effect on the climate. But one thing that we're not talking about is how there are companies now that are openly modifying the weather. There's cloud seeding technology. So, of course, humans have an effect on the climate. But I wonder how much that effect that we're doing that we don't even know about, because it's, like I said, it's just unprecedented storm to have this sort of flooding, and it's never happened in, I believe, the 100-year history of the camp. So something weird is going on. We are affecting the weather, but I just wonder how much of that effect is done on purpose and how much of it is done just by the byproduct of human beings living on Earth. So there's a lot of unanswered questions. I don't think that the government's going to be able to really, take the blame for this, because I don't think it is their fault. I don't think it's a National Weather Service. I think it's just a really unfortunate incident where sadly these girls' lives were lost because there was a horrible tragedy due to a weather disaster that no human being could stop.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely heartbreaking. Let's talk about Karen Bass. ICE agents have carried out immigration raids in LA, and Karen Bass went to the scene to protest against them. Here she is making a complete fool of herself.
I am going to say,
Mayor Bass, I need to get my phone and we're departing.
Okay. Mayor Bass.
Mayor Bass.
Oh my God.
Any comment, Mayor Bass?
Thank you.
Mayor Bass, any comment?
Yes, my comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now. They need to leave because this is unacceptable.
Who did you speak with?
Just wait and see.
Mayor Bass,
They will be leaving soon.
Mayor Bass, who did you speak with on the phone just now? Who did you speak with on the phone?
The head of customs.
Wow.
Alex, this comes after ICE agents have been shot at, they've been targeted, and Karen Bass, she's clearly on the side of illegals.
100%. And if you look at what Donald Trump is doing, he actually wants to help out a lot of the people that have been here for a long time. I mean, Donald Trump is not this evil person that the left is trying to make him out to be, or Karen Bass is trying to make him out to be. I think he's actually being critiqued by a lot of people on the right for not being tough enough on immigration. So Donald Trump's not going to be able to make the right 100% happy. He's not going to be able to make the left 100% happy. But what he needs to focus on is getting out these violent criminals that are here in our country. Now, if you're a person that's lived here for 20 years and you're not a criminal, I don't think that needs to be our priority. But here in America, our priority needs to be getting out all of the gangbangers and all of the people that use fake asylum to come to this country and take social services away from American citizens that are struggling. So Karen Bass trying to protect those people, there's no excuse for it. But the people that have been here and did, and lived their life, I think Donald Trump is going to try to work on a plan and, a way for them to actually stay. So let's just let time, play out, and we'll see how this immigration thing kind of works itself out. But right now, Karen Bass protecting criminals, it's just not a good look.
No, it's certainly not. Alex, the Department of Justice and the FBI says that pedophile Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide and that there is no client list. This is raising a lot of eyebrows. Let's just look back at what Pam Bondi had to say earlier in the year.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Here is Caroline Levitt clarifying what Pam Bondi meant.
So the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars.
Alex, what's happened here? A lot of people are not buying this.
Yeah, nobody's buying it here in America. You have the left wing and the right wing yelling at Pam Bondi for some transparency. And sadly, we're not going to get it because I think that the people that are connected to the Jeffrey Epstein debacle are some high, powerful people that would cause geopolitical conflicts with other countries. And I think that's what it really comes down to, that it's now a matter of national security to keep this list private. And nobody on both sides agrees with that strategy. I mean, we all wanted transparency. Donald Trump campaigned on it. And now Pam Bondi is walking back what she said she was going to do. So I'm just telling you, even the most loyal Donald Trump supporters on social media are asking questions. Why are we not getting these answers when you said that they were going to give us? And we don't want to see victims. It's not that we want to try to expose any victims. We just want to expose the actors and the powerful people that were doing this on an island with children. So there's no excuse. And this is a big, missed opportunity from the Trump administration for not giving us the transparency that so many Americans really want on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. Well, Joe Biden is back. The former president claimed during a rare public appearance that he just keeps getting phone calls from office holders and European leaders asking for advice during the Trump era.
We strengthened NATO in a significant way. And I'm getting calls, I'm not going to go into it, I can't, from a number of European leaders asking me to get engaged. I'm not giving advice. These things are different.
Is he telling the truth right now, Alex?
You know what? Honestly, he's probably a little too senile to even make that up. I bet people are calling him because if you really look back, as much grief that we give Joe Biden, he's the only president to technically beat Donald Trump in an election. So in a way, he is kind of Donald Trump's kryptonite in this weird kind of accidental, he's like a guy that just keeps failing, but he fails upwards. But yes, if you really look at it on paper, Joe Biden's the only guy to ever beat Donald Trump in an election. So in that case, I wouldn't be surprised that other foreign countries are asking him for advice. Will it help them at all? No, because he's probably just going to drool on himself and give him some, nonsensical answer. But I'm actually not surprised that people are reaching out to, former President Biden.
There you go. Alex Stein, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour, and our hearts are with you during this difficult time in Texas, sending you all lots of love.
Thank you, Gabriella. Talk to you guys soon.